Hello again, math students. Let's start today by reviewing from our last lesson what we remember from order of operations. Remember, we're always going to take care of things inside parentheses first. So in this problem, I need to get a pen first here. We need to do what's inside those parentheses. So we would just start by rewriting everything we're not going to take care of. 2 plus 3, and there's our dividing. 4 minus 1 is going to give us a 3. Now remember, for order of operations, I don't just go left to right. I have to think about what operations are here, and I would have to do this division before I would do any addition. So I would still keep my 2. I would still keep that plus, but I would have to do 3 divided by 3, which happens to be 1. Now I can finally do 2 plus 1, which gives me 3. And in our second problem, I have 2 sets of parentheses, and there's stuff to do in each set of parentheses. So 6 minus 2 in this first set of parentheses would just give me 4. I am, however, going to keep my parentheses because I've got 2 sets of parentheses right next to each other, which means I'm going to have some multiplication. Inside this second set of parentheses, I've got 2 things to do. So I have addition and subtraction. I have to work left to right. So I would have 2 plus 4. That would be my first step in this parenthesis, which would give me 6. And I still have a minus 3. Now, in that second parenthesis, I have to take care of that 6 minus 3, which would be 3. And then when I have those 2 parentheses right next to each other, we know that that means multiply. And 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So today, we are still working on performing order of operations and making sure that we are very, very careful with our precision and our order of operations. Just to remind everybody, the first step is parentheses, any kind of grouping symbols. Today, we are going to be doing some work with exponents. We didn't have any exponents yesterday. And then the next step is multiplying and dividing. And if you'll remember, yesterday we said we have to kind of put those two together. And we're always going to make sure that we're going from left to right with that, because we have to, whatever we come to first from left to right, if it happens to be a division or if it happens to be a multiplication, we have to make sure that we go in the correct order there. Then we have addition and subtraction. And again, we have to make sure that we are looking at that in terms of going from left to right. We can't just always do adding before we do subtracting, for instance. Today, we're going to throw in some powers or some exponents. So if I have a problem with something that looks like this, 4 with that little 3, that's an exponent or a power. When we're looking at the entire thing, it's called a power. 4 to the third power is one way that we could read this. This really means 4 times 4 times 4. This exponent of 3 tells me how many of those 4s are getting multiplied together. So you can write it out like this if you want to, or you can just do some multiplying in your head. But we know that 4 times 4 is going to be 16. And then we're going to multiply that by the next 4, which would be 64. You don't have to show this work, and I'm sorry that 64 looks so weird right there. 64 is 4 to the third power. Now, when we have exponents included in all of our other work, we have to be, again, very careful with our order of operations. We have to take care of stuff inside the parentheses first. So I'm going to do this first. 9 minus 3 would be our first step, and that would be 6. Now, I don't technically need to keep the parentheses there anymore because I took care of the parentheses, but I have not taken care of that exponent. That still would have to stay there. I still have my division sign, and I still have my 4. 6 squared, a lot of people want to say that that's 12 because they just do 6 times 2. But remember, that really means I'm multiplying 2 6s together. So 6 times 6 will be 36. And exponents do take do come before I would do any of my division. So I'll have 36 divided by 4, which would be 9. Now, in this problem, I have the 5 is technically in parentheses, but I think that you should know that now this set of parentheses around the 5, that's really just to say I'm going to be multiplying this 5 times whatever else I get over here in these parentheses, right? So I have to take care of that stuff in those parentheses. Let's switch colors here. So we're going to have 3 plus. Let's keep that 5 in parentheses. Inside the parentheses, would I subtract first or would I do my exponent first? Well, we know that the exponent's going to come first from PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, but 2 to the third power, again, a lot of people want to say that that's 6, but it's not. 2 to the third power, remember, really means 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So this 8 minus 4 is going to give us 4. So now that I've got these two, they're still in parentheses, but it really just means multiply, right? So I'm going to have 3 plus 5 times 4 is going to be 20, and 3 plus 20 will be 23. Now we get something called nested parentheses. It just means that I've got a set of parentheses inside another set of parentheses. So we just have more stuff going on. So I have to be looking at this set of parentheses first. Everything else that I haven't done, let's take care of that first. So I will have 10 divided by parenthesis 4 plus 1 minus. All right, now 5 minus 2, I can take care of that. That's just a 3. I don't need the 3 to stay inside the parentheses that was in, but I'll keep that outside parenthesis that was there. I still have parentheses though. I still have to do some stuff inside those parentheses. And I have to go, since it's all addition and subtraction, left to right. So I'm going to have 10 divided by parenthesis 4 plus 1 would be my next step, which is going to be 5. I still have minus 3. So I'll have 10 divided by. Finally, we can finish up those parentheses. And I don't even need the parentheses anymore. So 5 minus 3 will be 2. Now I can finally take care of my division. 10 divided by 2 will be 5. There's that answer. And one more problem. This time I don't see any parentheses. So no parentheses, no exponents, no adding or subtracting either. I do see some multiplying and dividing. And I did warn you at the beginning, a lot of people see problems like this and they want to do all the multiplying before they do the dividing. So I could totally see people that want to do this and then divide. Right? I'm going to do this problem and I'm going to do it wrong. They're going to say 3 times 4 is 12 and 2 times 6 is 12. And they want to do 12 divided by 12 and they get 1. And that is wrong. So we have to make sure that we are going from left to right when we do this problem. So I have 3 times 4 is 12. Then now I have to do my division problem. 12 divided by 2 is 6. And now I have that. And 6 times 6 is 36. So if you got stuck and you wanted to do all the multiplying first, you got an answer of 1, and the real answer is 36. So totally understandable why you could get tricked into that, but hopefully you don't get tricked. So today, we're working on order of operations. Make sure that you're very, very careful on those. We do have another worksheet today, and you'll have a lesson check in Schoology. If you need any help with this, make sure that you talk to your teacher.